start recording.
All right.
All right. It's about 2:10.
Yeah,
So,
close enough. Yeah, let's
yeah.
go ahead and get started.
All right. So, welcome everybody. This is the Accessible Coders chapter on Codecademy. This is our very first meeting. So, I am Taylor Arndt. I am one of the chapter leaders. Michael Dowies, do you want to introduce yourself next?
Sure. I'm Michael. I, like Taylor, am one of the founding members of this chapter. We put this together last week, and so we thought we'd throw this together, and um, we will. We have a extensive background in programming. Actually, Taylor, why don't you, since we're doing introductions, talk about your programming background.
Yeah, I can go ahead and do that. So basically, I do a lot of different kinds of programming. I am primarily in the web space, so I do a lot of JavaScript, Node.js, Express, that kind of fun stuff. So I'm going through some of those classes on Codecademy right now, and I have also delved into Python and other things like that in the past. And yeah, there's kind of a little bit about what I do in terms of programming and um, in terms of like, I guess, background about myself. I am a freelancer who has my own company where I do website accessibility and I also build websites for clients on WordPress as well. So I do a lot of WordPress development in that kind of sphere as well. So a little bit of PHP, but not a ton. But that's kind of a little bit about myself.
So I'm Michael. I'm more in the app development space. I do a lot of Swift app development. I've done some Java, learning Kotlin, and I used to do a lot more web uh, site work, but now I'm kind of trying to get back into it so that I could do front end, back end, and app development, desktop and mobile. I try to have my hands in all parts of the pie, essentially. Just because I enjoy all of it. I work a full time job and I develop projects on the side. So I'm always busy. And I've been in programming since I was about 12 years old. Been building apps for about 10 years, 10 or 11 years. And all of it interests me. So when I learned about Codecademy years ago, and I've taken some classes here and there, and recently moved to pro, and then we saw that they do these chapters, so I told Taylor she should start one. So that's how we got where we are now. We have our third chapter leader with us, Lauren. Why don't you tell us about yourself, kind of your journey, and what you're doing now, and what programming background you have?
Hello, everyone. I'm Lauren, and I'm also one of the founders. I started with programming not too long ago. I'm more in the design and front end user experience of mostly websites, but I'm slowly trying to expand my programming knowledge. I know a little bit of HTML, CSS, a little bit of Swift, a little bit of everything. So I'm just trying to expand my knowledge as much as I can.
Yep.
That sounds great, Lauren. Yeah. So another thing too is that a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us are blind or we use some other assistive technology for coding as well. So web accessibility and accessibility in general is definitely going to be one of our principles, right? Because we want everybody to be included. And so that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of another thing that will be part of this chapter is, teaching, like talking and studying about, programming, but then also talking about how to make accessible applications and kind of the whole web accessibility.
So, do we want to go around and let people who are also in the room introduce themselves?
We do. Yes, let's go ahead and do that.
So, I guess anybody, if you would like to unmute and give an introduction and how you found out about the chapter and what you would like to learn and that kind of thing.
Hi there. So I'm Jason. I am visually impaired myself. I have been programming since I was about 18. I'm currently, well, for the last year and a half, been programming using Python. That's including things like AI and MongoDB. I also have experience of creating HTML, also some JavaScript and WordPress. I have my own company who runs audits on websites, and have been doing that as my part of my full-time job, as well as training people to use assistive technology. That's me in a nutshell.
Excellent. Welcome.
Welcome. How did you find out about this?
Clubhouse through there, Taylor.
Ah. Okay.
We have one more person in the room.
Adara,
mhm.
I think that's how you say your name. If you'd like to unmute.
If you'd like to introduce yourself, it's optional.
Good evening. I will. My name is Adara. Firstly, I would like to say thank you for inviting me up here. I also work with Jason, who you've just spoken to. I have been this is my sort of first time doing programming. It's not, I've done a bit before. I've dipped my toe into it, but it was kind of Jason who got me into it. Who kind of got me started into it. I've been doing Python for about the last 6 to 8 months. And I do have a kind of idea about HTML. And I also occasionally work with Jason running and auditing websites. And that is me in a nutshell.
Okay.
All right. I don't think we have anybody else at the moment. But if we do, we'll let them introduce themselves.
That's everybody for right now.
So Jeff was here, but he left.
Yeah, he had to take off, I guess.
Yep. Okay, so now let's kind of. Oh, wait, Michael, were you gonna say something?
One thing I wanted to add to our agenda today is, when we have these chapter meetings, some basic rules I just want to put out there. Be courteous to each other. Try to be conscientious and all the typical things. Be good to each other. But the other thing that I wanted to mention is video is entirely optional. You can have video on or off. We do not, we're not strict on that. So if you'd like to have your video on, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine as well. So it's all up to you as to your preference there.
Yep. All right. Yeah, that's a good point. I kind of didn't really, think about that. So I'm glad that you were able to think about that, Michael. Anything else that you guys think we should add before we kind of talk more about the chapter and kind of what we're going to be doing for today's meeting? Anything else, Lauren or Michael?
That's all I have.
I think we're good.
Lauren, you're very quiet, FYI.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can change that right now.
Okay. All right. So what I want to do now is I just want to talk a little bit about, what we're going to be doing right during these little meetings and kind of how we want this to run. We kind of did a little bit of this earlier, but mainly what we want to do, since we're all learning a million different things, right? We're all not kind of doing the same stuff. I want to, be able to try to answer questions. And if people have any problems, particularly that they're trying to figure out, try to help each other. And then, I'm not sure how many of you guys ever used Codecademy, but kind of talk a little bit more about that, or just, try to help us learn more about code, right? Because we're all learning different things, but if we can try to pool our resources together and we can try to learn more, that's kind of what our our objective is going to be. It's just kind of helping each other with problems, or maybe you're working on a project and you need somebody to help you, just, that kind of thing. So that's kind of what we'll be doing for a lot of the meetings, is just kind of answering questions and, kind of diving into code. Does that sound good? Michael, do you have anything else to add?
So, just to let you guys know, for people that are listening to the recording, you'll be able to get these resources, and we'll be putting everything that we put in the chat on this website. We're going to have a website at accessiblecoders.com.
Yep.
And that site's under construction right now. It's being built by hand as a coding project.
Yeah.
Using Express.js. It's my kind of learning project for Express.js and Bootstrap. And so I'm going to be building out that website as I go along, learning this through this process. And so we're going to be putting up resources there. The website to remember is accessiblecoders.com. I will put it in the Zoom chat here in a second. And also on that website here in the next few days will be a link to our Discord called Programming for Everyone. It's a accessibility first Discord server to talk about programming. You could share questions, and there's like a text channel for pretty much anything that you want.
Yep, and voice channels as well.
Yep, there's voice channels as well, but there's text channels for each programming language we could think of, and if we're missing them, we can add them. You will need to leave an introduction letting us know that you are human and that you're not going to spam the server. So that's the only requirement, and then a moderator can let you in. We may even set up stages and do some chapter stuff over there as well. So it's a little more informal. But that's our plan for getting the word out.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so that's kind of the plan for getting the word out. So, is anybody in the audience? I guess. Wow, I feel like I'm running a clubhouse here. Anybody have any questions? I thought I heard something, so that's why I wanted to make sure. Okay. I don't think I hear any questions at the moment. So if that stuff is all clear to folks, that's great. And then we'll try to have these. I guess the other question is, how often do we want to have these meetings? Right? Because we want to kind of talk about that, right? Just try to get the ground established. Thank you, Michael. And then also put the Discord in there as well, I think.
Yep. We need to make sure we put a link that doesn't expire, because that's...
Oh, yeah. And it also should be in the chapter description as well. I think I put it on there.
Yep.
So if you go to Codecademy, chapter description.
If it's not there, it will be.
Right. If it's not there, it will be. But yeah, join that Discord, because that's kind of, like I said, that'll be kind of the place where, if we're not in here, if you have questions like off chapter meetings, the Programming for Everyone Discord is going to be kind of a great place to get those answered. Okay. So what we're going to do, if anybody else doesn't have any questions, I guess I'm going to start off. Another thing I want to address is Codecademy. So obviously we're using Codecademy, which if you guys haven't heard of that, is a website. Michael was just talking about it, and actually he just got me kind of hooked on it. But basically, you can learn to code using an interactive challenge-based approach with like text challenges. So it'll give you some text, something to read, and then it will give you a code sample, and then you have to do these exercises. In the past, they haven't been the most accessible. However, they are working on that. They are really wanting to be more accessible for us. And since we are the first blind or visually impaired chapter on Codecademy, they are really super excited. So with that being said, if you do have any accessibility bugs that you do come across, what we're going to do is, for the time being, and I'm going to try to get a hold of the accessibility coordinator, but for the time being, if you have them, send them to me. And what they also said to do, if you have any bugs that you'd like to report, attach audio like screen, like, you know, you using your screen reader so that they can hear, the accessibility team can hear how it sounds for somebody who is blind. So those are some of the things that they told me, because yeah, they really want to improve the platform for those who are blind, which is super exciting, and you know, for others with disabilities, because again, it used to not be accessible. So I'm super excited about their commitment to accessibility. But I just wanted to kind of address that before we got started. Any questions on that?
Will you be putting your email address in there in the chat, Tyler, as well, so we could,
Yep.
everybody's got it? Thank you.
Actually, there is a way to actually contact all of the founders within the chapter.
Yep.
So there's a contact us button on the website, and you can fill out an email for us, and all of us will get an email.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is that on Codecademy or is that on the actual on your one? On
Codecademy.
Codecademy. Oh, I can't talk today. Codecademy community.
Codecademy community. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But I will put my email. I think Michael and Lauren, you know, just in case they want to contact one of us directly for some reason. That way everybody has each other's emails, right? So I will go ahead and put mine in the chat.
I will do the same.
Okay.
Here comes the Discord link in the chat.
All right. And also, you know, if you have a question, put it in, you know, if you want to, if you're on Discord, you can also send us DMs that way as well.
Yep.
There's many ways of getting a hold of us. But yeah, that's just, I just got. Okay. Yep. So I just got that that one there. So yeah, feel free to join our Discord because yeah, it's a really great community. We're gonna be growing it as well. So if you've got other, you know, programming friends, like I said, just kind of a place for us programmers, you know, to have a place where we can talk about code. So feel free to spread the word around as well about that server, because it's not just for this Codecademy chapter. There's some other members on there as well. Okay. So, any other questions about reaching us or Codecademy accessibility bugs? I don't think I hear any. So if and if we do have bugs, hopefully eventually I can, it'd be nice if the Codecademy accessibility team could join us in one of these chapter meetings. That'd be pretty cool as well. But yeah, so that'd be cool to have them, you know, that way they can kind of see how we're using it as people who are blind. All right. So I think all the resources, Michael, do you have any more resources to add in that chat?
No, that's everything that I can think of for now. Yeah, that's all I can think of.
Okay. So, Lauren, are you good as well? Nothing else you can think of?
Nope, we're good here.
What? Sorry, I could.
She said we're good.
Oh, all right. So the next thing we're gonna do, is we're going to kind of get into some, I guess, you know, more code, more technical stuff. So I guess I want to first start off. Has anybody ever used Codecademy before? I have. Michael has. I know Lauren has. Has anybody else in the room ever used Codecademy before to practice and learn code?
Just started to last month.
Awesome.
So getting
I kind of started about a month ago. Yes, a couple of months ago, before you did. But I was quite. But remember, it was what was the reason behind it? I think probably at the time that was it. It was charging me to go into the next part, as I recall. I think.
Right. Yeah, because they do have both a free and a pro plan.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
Yep. And a tip for you guys, if you do need to pay for, first off, if you're a student, you can get, I believe, 35% off.
Right.
And then secondly, if you pay annually, you basically like save half money, right? So let me try that again. You basically save 50% over the year. So like it's $40 per 1 month, or you pay $19 per month annually. That makes sense. So yes, it can be expensive, but those are kind of some tips to minimize minimize the cost a little bit. Cause yeah, I know that could be a little bit of a barrier for some, but if you've never, started, like, so the free plan is definitely a good way to get started, but you just won't have all those projects and quizzes. Oh,
Right.
oh, sorry. Were you gonna say something? Okay. So yeah, those are some of those things. So how are you guys liking Codecademy overall? Because yeah, I personally think it's really an awesome platform. I'm 60% through the JavaScript course, and I've learned a ton. And I've also looked at the Express course. There are some bugs though with the accessibility, but that's where reporting them will definitely be very helpful as well.
I think I'm 70% through the HTML course. The last time I checked, yes.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. And what kind of I guess the next question I have for y'all, just so that we kind of have an idea of, what we all use. What kind of operating system, and if you use any assistive technology, what do you guys use? So I use NVDA along with Google Chrome, and I'm on Windows.
I'm on the same. I also use JAWS occasionally,
Yep.
but I'm using Firefox recently as well.
Okay.
Which is a little bit faster. That's
a little bit. I'm using Google Chrome and NVDA.
All right. Michael and Lauren?
I'm running a Mac with VoiceOver and Zoom.
Okay.
And I'm using a Mac with Zoom. Occasionally VoiceOver for testing, but I hop between the Mac and PC. I try not to run both operating systems on one machine, so I have a total of 3 laptops around here. So, yeah.
Okay. So we've got pretty much an even split almost, right? This is pretty cool because we've got a lot of Windows and we've got a lot of Mac users. So this is pretty cool. This is definitely an interesting mix, which is going to be pretty fun. So, yeah. So that's kind of that first question. The next question I have is, what kind of projects are y'all building right now? Just so we kind of have an idea of what is everybody working on. I'll start. I am working on, so there's an app Michael Dewey's released in the App Store called Pocket Braille. Michael, do you want to explain that?
Sure. Pocket Braille is a Braille reference app where you could learn to write or learn the different symbols in Braille. It's for iOS and Android. Taylor's working on the web version.
Yep.
And it'll be written in Express and Node.js. But yeah.
Yep. So that's my little project. Michael, you kind of already said what you're working on, but
yeah, I'm working on a bunch of different projects. I'm working on an app called Perspective AI that will do OCR on iOS, Mac OS, and the web. I have a server that I have 2 servers, a Linode, and I'm paying for a Mac through Mac Stadium that I can do remote stuff on that I'm very happy about. I love playing around on that thing. I even host my Minecraft server on there. But I'm playing around with Xcode Cloud. So many projects I'm working through, and so little time to do it all. So there's always something going on. Yeah.
And I'm kind of doing a bunch of different things. I'm doing web design projects. I am, just trying to further my programming language and just trying to gain more experience.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
So at the moment, I'm designing a few websites for a few clients of mine, and also I am currently a quarter of the way through my uni course, so that is around data science. So that's proving quite interesting because I am the only visually impaired person on the course, so I'm having to hop between kind of Jupyter notebooks and other ways of making it accessible for me. So at the moment, I'm having great fun trying to convert around about. I think it's a CSV file, Excel file. It's got around about 1 million records in it. So I'm having to data sort and do things with that in it, and using Power BI as well. So that's a little bit of what I'm doing, but I'm doing much more than that with it currently as well.
Wow, that sounds interesting.
And I want to come back to that in a second
Okay.
because I have a question. So if y'all want to continue with your projects, but I just want to.
Yep, we'll
say,
come back to that.
Yeah.
We'll I think we have one more person that has to, if they want would like to tell what we're working on.
Oh, I'm kind of alongside Jason. We're working on a website at the moment. That's kind of that's my main goal at the minute. I'm also doing audio stuff with Reaper, and I'm kind of sort of leaning slightly towards the musical production side of it because that's what I was doing originally. So I'm kind of sort of got my foot in both camps at the moment, or in two separate camps.
Yeah, that's awesome because you can also program Reaper as well. Is that what you're?
See, I've heard people talking about that, but apparently yes, you can. You can program Reaper, and you can also program. Well, you can't. I heard on the grapevine that you can also program Logic as well, but we'll see about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I'm not entirely sure about that, but don't quote me on it. But that's what I've heard on the grapevine. So.
Okay, so what's this website you're working on?
At the moment, it's kind of in the development stages. Am I right, Jason?
Yep. Yeah. So basically, it's my own company website, and also I'm working on someone else's one at the same time. So I'm just building it up from scratch, really.
Okay.
It's basic.
It's basic. It's just basic.
It's a basic one.
Just using HTML at the moment, and then we're gonna switch it over into WordPress later on.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Just go through the motions. Really.
Michael, I know you had a question. Do you want to go for it?
Yeah. So could you, Jason, explain exactly what the use of Jupyter Notebooks is?
Okay, so it's a container form where basically all the code and the data is set in one module. Basically, that's the quickest and dirtiest way I can explain it. And basically, that is a virtual machine which is much more quicker than a normal machine, so it can handle massive amounts of data which a normal PC cannot do. You can set things like RAM and static RAM, and setting certain data sets in its own virtual environment.
So it's handled offsite through Jupyter Notebooks. Okay,
yes, correct. Yeah, exactly.
Is that a paid thing?
No, it's free. It's free. It's free, but it's not greatly accessible. Well, it is accessible to an extent, but if you want to do what I'm doing with it, then forget it. Don't go there. Don't go there.
Are you talking using VS?
Yeah, VS and stuff, and linking it all together. Yeah, that's a no-go. The only way that's accessible is through Google's version of it, which is called Google Colab.
Oh, okay.
That's the only way you can virtualize data in a data handler.
I've seen references to Jupyter Notebooks in VS Code, so that's why I was curious.
Yeah. Are you using VS or using VS Code?
I'm using VS Code.
Okay.
But I've kind of stepped back. So what I do everything pretty much from a notepad standpoint, and then do it that way because that's the way I prefer the code. It's I mean, I don't mind VS, but I just find it in particularly a bit, because of all the IntelliSense, it just drives me insane. So I just prefer to do it that way.
Yeah, that's interesting because I use VS Code full time. I love it.
I love IntelliSense
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
I love it.
But intelligence when you're properly programming, yeah, it's a little bit, yeah, it can do some really odd things.
Do you use it a lot, Taylor?
Use what?
IntelliSense?
Oh, I love IntelliSense.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's clever, but sometimes a bit too clever.
You know, it comes. The thing is, when you're programming, it all comes down to personal preference and that kind of thing.
It does. Do you use the PowerShell or do you use the normal shell?
On Windows, I now use, because I updated all my machines to Windows 11.
Okay.
But I love the Windows terminal.
Yep.
And so I will, if I'm in Windows, typically I will just load up Windows Subsystem for Linux and just go through all that, because I don't like the Windows command line stuff at all.
Yeah.
Same here.
You might want to put a chapter together how you do that, because it's not that intelligently how you link it together on there.
Okay.
Actually, if you go, you do the most complicated thing is you have to go into install additional features in the Windows setup. Install the Windows subsystems for Linux. Go install Ubuntu or one of the others from the Windows Store, and then in Windows Terminal, it's right there.
It's right there. Yeah, it hooks it up, but not always. I've found for some bizarre reason, which I've never quite understood.
And once you install Ubuntu or Debian or whichever one, you could actually just do Windows R or just go to the search and type Ubuntu or Debian, and it will open a new shell.
Yeah.
Yep. It's very helpful. Something else that's also helpful, as well as Michael, we've been talking about this for a little while, the remote SSH and VS Code.
Yes, it is.
Where you can literally connect to SSH servers through VS Code, and you can remotely develop, and then it will, update in real time. That's why we're developing the accessible coders and the Pocket Braille. Is we're doing it through the remote VS.
And you wouldn't think so, but a Mac Mini as a server is actually very nice, even with SSH and VS Code.
Yep. It is incredibly nice.
And it's fast. WordPress is so fast on that thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I think your last thing got like 100% on the GT metrics, Michael.
Yep. For structure, it got 92, but I'm sure that could be fixed.
Yeah.
It's still really high.
Oh, sorry, I cut you off, Michael. What?
It's still really high on the metrics, though.
Yeah. Okay. So any other questions? And then we can kind of go into some more, like, if anybody has a specific question about a project, maybe they're stuck on something, we can try to help each other out. But any other questions about this before we kind of maybe dive into some code, or if anybody has any, like they're stuck on something or they can't get anything to work? Okay. So this is kind of the time where we will open it up, and if anybody has any questions that they need help with, or they have some programming problem that they can't solve, we will try to kind of help each other out. Or maybe you're having something with Codecademy, you can't figure out some exercise, let us know, and we will try to kind of, this is where we'll help each other out and see what we can learn together.
One of the things, a tip that I want to point out that you've mentioned, Taylor, that I would like to share with everybody is, if you are having trouble in Codecademy with their editor or anything like that, take your code, copy it out of the editor into VS Code or Notepad or whatever
tip, yeah,
text editor you're using. Fix what you're trying to change and then put it back. And that way, you have more control over what you're working with.
And there's many other advantages to that as well. Not just that, but there's many other, like I said, advantages, such as you're going to be writing the code in the environment that you would be doing in production. Excuse me. So if for some reason there's something that you're like, hey, maybe there's an extension for VS Code that I'm like, ooh, I need this, when I'm trying, there's one called S6 snippets. That's a JavaScript S6 companion thing, because I was printing console.log like 50 million times. I'm like, oh my God, I got sick of typing this out. So, you kind of learn some things that way as well. You learn kind of what you need and kind of how to write efficiently while you're going through Codecademy. So that's a really good tip. I'm glad that you thought of that, because yeah, Michael, I kind of thought of it, but I didn't really think about to bring it up.
Yeah,
Another
and
thing,
oh, go ahead, Lauren.
another thing is in the editor, it actually gives you different shortcuts. So as you're going through, like I think Command Enter or maybe Alt Enter, I'm not sure for Windows, will actually
Control.
check your project.
Control Enter.
Okay, Control Enter. You know, Control less than or greater than will take you back and forth between the different exercises. So there's little tidbits hidden in there.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it'll say like next, Control
Huh.
less than or greater than or whatever.
I did not know that.
That's funny because
cool.
NVDA didn't read those.
Interesting. Yeah, they're there.
Huh.
I wonder if Codecademy has like a keyboard cheat sheet that they publish somewhere.
Let me look.
That's
That'd
really
be a useful
interesting.
resource.
That has been extremely helpful.
And this is why we have a chapter, folks.
Yep, this is exactly why. All right, so I did find the keyboard reference.
Do you want to post the link to that in the chat?
I sure will. Well, that wasn't a very good link. Those are the keyboard shortcuts. So that's definitely, if you're having trouble with something with Codecademy, it's a really good way to.
We'll also post those on the Programming for Everyone Discord.
Yep.
If there's not a developer resources channel, there will be.
Yep. I don't think there is, so we'll want to create that.
Mm-hmm.
And possibly
also,
the website.
And also, the everybody who signed up on there today has been approved as a member.
Oh, do we have some new members in there?
Yep. I believe Adara, if that's how you say your name, you are there now. And we had a few others that signed up. So.
Oh, wonderful! We're gonna have to welcome them in when we get off this chapter meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there goes my Discord. Oh wait, that's yours, Michael. Okay. Yeah. No, that's wonderful. See, this is the thing. We want to try to grow this server, right? It's kind of, we want to help everybody learn to code, because we believe that really anybody can code. You just have to. It's just trying to find those accessible resources. That's kind of the hardest part sometimes. So, yeah, no, this is really awesome. And it's definitely a really cool thing. Yeah, I'm glad you brought up those shortcuts, Lauren, because yeah, I had no idea about them. So yeah, any other thoughts or tips that anybody wants to kind of bring up?
I notice a tip, especially in the Python one, sometimes the indentational part can be a bit wrong. So yeah, definitely copy it out of the environment of the editor and stick it, normal text editor or whatever you want to put it in, because sometimes indentational will be thrown incorrectly out. I think it's just the editor just not quite understanding indentational level, especially within certain case functions.
That's a good point. So, Jason, I'm going to ask you right, we're going to talk a little bit about indentation for a second, because you just brought that up, and that's a good point to bring up. So, Jason, how do you deal with indentation? How do you...
Okay, so with Python, I'm old school, so basically what I do is just do whatever the command would be, and then next line down would be 3 spaces or 4. So then I know I've got a tab. So I know it's a tab, and then if I'm coming down from like if statement, if I got an else, then I'll do another 4. So I do 8, and then I know. And then also with NVDA, you can set within the preferences, you can set the indentational markers on as well. So you must do that before you do anything else.
Oh yeah. And I actually have, I don't know if you guys, I have a configuration profile for NVDA where literally whenever I'm in VS Code, it'll automatically get set. So it'll So it will do the indentation every time.
Okay.
Um,
I'll have to try that one.
and I actually, yeah, if anybody, and I have a tutorial in my YouTube video, and if people are interested, we can kind of show off, because I had to do a clean install on Windows, and I actually never did it yet. So
There's also, at least for JavaScript, there is an extension called Prettier.
right.
And it will go in, and as you save, it has to be set up. It has a certain setup process. It integrates with Node in your environment. So you actually have to set it up. Sorry about the sirens, everybody.
Oh, we didn't even hear them.
Oh, there they are.
There they are.
Oh, there they are.
So Prettier, the way it works is as you save your changes, anytime you save your document or exit VS Code, it will go through and prettify your code, adding semicolons or removing semicolons for efficiency, doing indentation and that kind of stuff to keep your code consistent.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool.
But I don't think that's available in all languages. That's not in Python.
I bet they probably have something.
There is one in Python. There is a Python one which is called Python Tab. I did try to use it, and this was a little while, about 4 months ago, and it didn't like it with the screen reader. It threw a complete wobbly. It went, no, I'm not going to handle that. So I don't know if there's been an update yet. It's possibly, but I'm a bit wary of trying to, especially with VS. I don't like trying to add things and disable things because it, as I know with my personal experience with VS, if you kind of get it wrong, it goes wrong in a very big way. And it's
I enabled certain extensions one time and completely hosed my Visual Studio Code. Now, granted, this was like 3 years ago, but
yeah.
But the thing is, you don't know until you experiment, and sometimes as a developer, you have to make those bad steps to know what the good steps are.
Very true.
Yes.
Do any of you two use GitHub at all?
Oh, I love GitHub. Yes, yeah, I love GitHub.
Yeah, that's why I mainly use, because all my stuff's on a often use uni site, so we all use GitHub through the VS terminal through there.
Yes, and there's also GitLens too. In VS as well.
I've not seen that one yet. What's that one like to use as a? I've just seen it like this beginning of this month. Is that okay to use that one?
Yeah, it's really good because it can help. Let's say you've a merge conflict, it can kind of supercharge. But for visual users, so it'd be good because you probably in your university you do a lot of collaboration.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yep, and there's actually another one too that I'm going to tell you about as well. But basically this will it will help you to be able to visualize, but they can also help with like pull requests, and it's just kind of a supercharged Git extension. There's another one called Live Share where you can literally share the same document almost like a Google Doc in VS Code with somebody else.
That's what they've been telling me about the beginning of this week. I went, that's another one. So yeah, them three. If you could put them three names of them in the chat, that'd be quite cool.
Another one that's coming out that I'm very interested in playing with. In fact, Taylor, I was listening to my This Week in Tech's Windows Weekly, and I remember this one from you. GitHub Autopilot or Copilot, whatever it's called.
I tried to sign up for the beta, but I haven't heard anything. But let me go ahead and see if I have that. So Michael and Lauren, I'm going to put some stuff in the chat, and then I'm going to look and see if I have that available to me.
Apparently, it's people can use it now.
Really, really.
Wow.
Well, okay, this is cool
because they picked it as a VS Code extension pick on Windows Weekly, so I don't think they would pick a closed beta for a pick. So
interesting.
Mm-hmm. But basically, it's using AI to try to figure out what's next for you to code.
Say it again, sorry.
Basically, from what I've been hearing, it's using AI to kind of code complete what you're trying to write.
Okay. That would kind of make sense, yeah.
Awesome.
So he's trying to be smart and trying to understand what's going on. that could be fun with MongoDB. That could be kind of interesting.
I'm actually really excited. I'm going to be going back to my learning how to write Swift command line apps because I'd like to get my OCR project off the ground for Perspective Web, and if I could get the command line app and get JavaScript to run that command line app and give it input and get output, then that would be great.
Mm.
I kind of wish there was a Swift library, and I need to look for it where I could run a Swift web server so I could just cut out the middleman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but most of it's done on the server side, from what my understanding is on that side.
Well, yeah, that's the point. The Swift would be server side.
Yeah.
Because I have a Mac that will be doing all the server work.
Cool.
It's a Mac Mini that will be running requests.
That's another thing I'm excited about is the Swift UI course.
Mm-hmm. They have a great Swift UI track on Codecademy.
I'm sorry?
I was saying they have a good Swift UI track on Codecademy. Yep. And the neat thing is that, and I've been talking about this for years now, Swift UI is the most accessible way to build apps for iOS, macOS, and watchOS. And tvOS, I guess.
Yep.
Because you're not using drag and drop. You're not using any UI graphical way to look at your interfaces. It's all done through code. And now that's going to be more accessible to more people because it's coming to iPad through Swift Playgrounds.
Which is extremely exciting. It's really cool.
I want that beta.
Oh, one thing I wanted to mention about Codecademy is some of the courses kind of make you do some weird visual ASCII art type things. It's kind of off topic, but I just keep thinking about it. So that's one drawback to some of the exercises, but you could probably easily get past it by kind of fudging it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we should really talk to them about accessible project ideas because, like, we want to make sure that everybody has access, right? So,
yeah.
Lauren,
the thing about that, I want to point out, they have to entice the visual users.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is fully accessible because, like on the C# course, they actually give you the ASCII art to put in.
Oh, do they?
Yes, they do. And if they just tell you to make a letter with your own name, then you just do whatever. You just make it. And you can just have fun. And that's what the whole thing is for. And it's not even really like the meat of the course. It's right at the beginning to get people just jazzed up about it. And again, they give you the art. They give, like on C#, they give you the art. You could just copy. I copied and pasted the stupid things. I didn't.
Oh, did you? I didn't know you could do that. Okay.
Yes, you can. You can just find it, select the white space, copy it, and
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So.
Well, yeah, there you go.
All right.
Problem solved.
I believe I put everything in the chat. I need to figure out that autopilot. That's interesting. The copilot.
And going back to GitHub, I've personally haven't used it much, but I'm starting to now, especially now that I'm in the Xcode Cloud beta, because for that to work, you have to have your code in a repository. So yeah, all my code's going on GitHub because the neat thing is I can actually tell it to build on. I can pick which iPhone version and Xcode version to do testing and publish it right to TestFlight and publish it to App Store Connect.
Oh, neat.
Mm-hmm. Right from, when they fix the stupid thing, as y'all saw with my probably 50 emails.
Yeah, I woke up that morning and I was like, whoa, someone's been busy.
No, I was not expecting it to send emails to everybody on the team. That was a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting though, since you're signed into that. Well, I guess you're not. So
I don't know. It depends. I might be.
No, I don't think you're signed. You'd have to be signed in on my developer account, but
Oh,
it would be neat for folks without a company account on App Store Connect to be able to check out the Xcode Cloud beta.
oh, that's where you're
I'm
going.
still
Okay.
curious how much they're going to charge for that because oh man, the support you get is pretty insane.
Do we want to talk about like meeting times or?
You know, the nice thing about this time, and Lauren, we may have to change our class schedule time.
That's okay.
The nice thing about this time, it's right in the middle of the day, so it's not too late for folks in the UK, and that, and it's not too early for Pacific folks. So I think this would be a good time on Saturdays. What do you guys think? Do you agree, Taylor?
I do agree.
And I agree. I mean, I got some other friends in the UK, and this would probably be a pretty good time for most of them. So if you made it, I mean, okay, it could be another hour later, but then for us guys over here, it could be a coffee time, which I'm gonna have anyway. So I don't
Well,
mind.
and we encourage my goal has always been for us to find more people that are interested in programming, so that
Cool.
not only do we have programmers that are working on projects, and but to build a dialogue and a discussion about programming, because it's programming is my passion. Watching, taking a blank document, building a program, and seeing it come to life, and knowing that a person that's totally blind can do that, can do that is awesome. Also, I want to announce that we do have the Discord server, but not everybody has Discord, but everybody has email.
Yeah.
I was
So
wondering when you were going to bring that one out.
I'm going to post a link in the chat, and I've created a mailing list called. I have a company called Techopolis Online Solutions, and we're developing a programming mailing list. And the email address is codersplussubscribe at techopolis.online. And it will be a mailing list to talk about anything programming related.
Cool. Because there is a VI Python one, which is active somewhat.
Python Viz, I believe.
Yeah, Python Viz. That's the one.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of it.
This is a general list.
Oh, general list. Okay, that's good. Good to know.
Yep.
Anybody can post programming questions, or even share. I am totally fine if people share their projects and what they're working on. That way, you can show your skills and let people know what you're working on, that sort of thing.
Yeah, because at the moment I'm working on some open source stuff as well. Because basically what I'm doing with the open source way is I'm hoping to get my first Python job. So that's my end. I mean, it might not happen. Who knows? I don't know. But I said my kind of one of my goals. Maybe it doesn't happen. It doesn't matter. It's just been fun learning. Fun learning Python in the meantime. So I don't know.
So what do you like about Python? What is your
okay? So it's nice and structured. One, and it's very easy to learn.
The funny thing is, people would say that's a reason why they hate a program.
Yeah.
People hate structure, and I feel like Python is actually very unstructured. Now, you want structure. C# or Java, that's structure.
That is definitely structure.
Yeah, Java is, yeah. But I haven't, I might look at those ones, but as I said, because I'm at uni, and that's the way my courses
when you have to
around.
reference like 5 objects just to print to the screen, that's too much.
That's part of fun. That's the fun. Which library is it today? That one, or that one?
No. Very different, because in Python you just say print,
Yeah.
right?
True.
In Java it might be system.out.println.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, now they have paradigms where you can just put like the ending part in it. It intuits the what you're looking for, but still.
And then you got objects within objects. No, I'm kidding.
Well, yeah.
It just seems like you're constantly referencing things.
And if you look at a Java file, even Android, there is a reason why Android Studio hides your include statements, because you're going to have 20 or 30 of them.
Yeah.
I want to add a button. I need to include 3 other include files.
Or maybe
I remember
even
those
5.
dark days. I remember those dark days with C. Gives me nightmares.
I mean, I remember learning Java and they're going, you have to memorize the basics. And then, there's, of course you got your, documentation and whatever, but they're like, you've got to memorize your includes, otherwise you're screwed.
You're screwed. Exactly. That's what we used to
Or
say.
just have a good IDE that can do it for you.
Yeah. Of course, no one wants to talk about that, especially in programming class.
Right.
I suppose that's true. That's true. It's like even as said, any of the programming languages, they kind of don't always tell you what are the good accessible
Nope.
IDEs. I think that's definitely something you want to make a kind of reference for, because I've had great fun, especially on the course I've been on. I am still doing. I will be returning back in September. My lecturer has been trying to get me to use it, and I tried it. I went, okay, let me scratch my head, let me bang my head against the wall and say, no, that's not going to work.
I know how that feels.
What do they want you to use?
Oh, I can't even remember what they were. I just forgotten what they were. I went, no.
PyCharm.
PyCharm, yeah, PyCharm or something else. Yeah. Anaconda's fine. That works pretty much okay. What was the other one? IPython. I think it was a virtual, like there's like a share. It's actually online, running through a browser, but you think it should be accessible, but no.
A neat one, if you have iOS. If you have iOS like an iPad and a keyboard, Pythonista. That's a great app.
I've yet to find that one. I have got an old Mac, but it's a sad old Mac, so I don't know if it'll run it.
No, it only runs on iPad.
iPad. Oh, okay.
And iPhone. But the neat thing is, if you write your scripts for it, you can actually write graphical interfaces with it and get native iOS apps. And you could then use them to get input from shortcuts as a shortcuts extension and parse output to a shortcut. So you can add your Python scripts to your home screen on iOS and run them as Siri shortcuts.
Sure. That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to remember
There's
that.
even a way where you can install pip to install other libraries on it. It's kind of...
Didn't you try that, Michael? Right?
Yes, and it worked.
Oh, what were you trying to do? Something it crashed epically. What was that?
That was running it on the M1 Mac.
You were trying to install WX Python.
Yeah. That did not work because there's no
that won't work.
WX widgets on iOS. And installing WX Python on M1 Mac is not fun either. Just being honest.
No.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. I've got an old Mac, so this sits there and looking at me. Yeah.
It's interesting because that GitHub Copilot's still in technical preview. So
It's
what?
technical preview, but you should be able to still use it.
Right, but that's interesting. Yeah, because it says very small group of users are only available to use it. Come on, yeah, you guys are trying to get your power because you think everybody can use it.
Yeah, and I think since it's Microsoft, they wanted to promote it on a Windows show.
Which is great, but it'd be nice if everybody could use it,
Right. Interesting. All right. Do you guys have any questions? I've learned a lot from this already, and I personally am very excited to see where this chapter goes.
Yeah, I am as well.
And you know, we on the Discord, there's an accessible coders chat, text chat. We could put stuff in there. There's a lot of different languages chatting where you could chat for that, and it's awesome to see that server getting some use. So
Yeah, be definitely looking at the Discord one, going through that. I mean, at the moment, I think I've got to set a time scale for all the projects I want to do. So I'm pretty organised, so I think it should be manageable for me. So you're planning to do this every week, or
every
what's
2
your
weeks.
think? Every 2 weeks.
Think,
no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. No,
Yep.
that's what I'm just inquiring.
And then I'll go ahead and schedule the next one on Codecademy now, so that way it can get promoted.
That's fine.
And we put it for 10 users, 10 folks today. We didn't even have that, so I'm thinking we should keep it 10 to 20. What do you think, Taylor? That way it's a little more manageable.
Yeah. I mean, because, like, if we have a lot going on, I mean, yeah, like, we do have breakout rooms, so if things get a little crazy, we could do that. But, yeah, just for manageability.
As we're getting started,
Yeah, of course. I mean, I can reach out to charities and things over here in the UK that might bring people in if you want me to do that. Or do which way do you want to work it, Taylor? I don't mind. You decide.
I don't either. I was just gonna say, Michael. Actually, we may want to up it because remember, Michael B is going to be sharing it on CNIB.
Yeah. So 20 to 30.
20 to 30.
Say. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So feel free to spread the word around and spread the Discord too.
And the thing is, it doesn't have to be just blind users.
No.
No. Essentially, anybody that wants to learn about coding for accessibility, or that wants to learn more about how people that are disabled code, we're all about that too. Cool. And or people that just want to talk about Codecademy, that's totally fine as well. Anybody is able to join us. This is just what our focus.
Yeah, because I got some of my lecturers might be interested as well, because I'm having to educate them half the time.
Well, so, I'll tell you what. There's, I can't tell you anybody else that's better in talking about accessible coding and coding with a screen reader than Taylor. She does it all. So.
Yep, I do it all. I'm a freelancer. Like I said, I have my own company, just like you, Jason. And I have my own YouTube channel as well. So some of those links are actually to my YouTube channel. And if you want to subscribe to it, go ahead. Taylor's Tech Talks. I do a lot of programming and WordPress videos. Also subscribe to Michael's channel. Michael, you might want to throw your channel in the description.
I'll put it on the Discord.
Okay. Yeah, put it on Discord. That'd be fine.
Yeah. But all these resources are going to be on the Discord. Like, because I hope the chat will save. I think it'll save in a text file.
Yeah, nobody just throws it out as a text file.
So literally just throw the whole chat in the Discord. But yeah, like I said, feel free to go, do those resources as well, because I do have some VS Code videos on my channel as well. I have my extensions as well of what I use. And maybe we should do a whole event about that, Michael. What do you say?
Yeah, getting started with VS Code I think would be a good event.
I think that would be a really good one for a lot of people.
And I think it would be, well, actually, I think what we need to do is a event on which IDEs would be, the best for the right job.
Yes.
I think that would be a really nice event.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you what, it has support for it, but I'll tell you what, if you're doing Codecademy and Swift, not VS Code.
No.
No.
Although there are Swift linters for VS Code.
There are.
But if you've got a Mac, then what's the point?
Right. So maybe that should be our next topic. Our next meeting.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. And of course, general FAQ for Codecademy studying.
Well, that's why we always embed time in there for that as well.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to be learning Bootstrap. That's going to be, been meaning to get onto that this weekend, and that's going to be one of my study objectives here pretty soon. I wish they would put a Bootstrap 5 course up, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bootstrap 4 is close enough, but there's a few things that are different. Not many things, but a few. And the other thing that is really important to realize, folks, is code with Bootstrap. If you're building a website by hand, code with Bootstrap because.
I said, please do. It will save yourself so much frustration.
And time, and it's mobile first and accessible.
Yes. Yep. So Bootstrap all the way, and there's some VS Code snippets or VS Code extensions for Bootstrap as well.
I think the biggest thing with Bootstrap is knowing what all the different classes do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But what I mean is that there's some templates. There's some
Yeah.
design templates that already look good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, yeah, that's definitely really awesome. Any other thoughts?
Oh, I was looking at a LinkedIn Learning course today.
Okay.
And they have a Express.js course, and do you use, Taylor, the Express Manager?
I think I tried to, but it wasn't accessible.
No, it's command line.
Oh, there's like 50 million Express courses on LinkedIn Learning.
It was called Express Essential Training.
Oh, well then there's a whole other one.
Yeah. This one they were using all command line, and they were talking about a command line program called Express Manager, and they were saying that Express doesn't. It can use all kinds of templating engines, and EJS was just one of them. I thought,
Yes.
wow, that's crazy.
There's a lot of them, but EJS is honestly the most straightforward.
Yeah, from the looks of it, it does look like it.
That's why I use it, and I think I read about it, but I kind of was like, I'm going to use EJS, and I kind of forgot about the other ones.
Mm-hmm. But it's neat because you could use Express Manager to actually generate EJS files.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I thought so. So I wanted to throw that out there. It's really interesting comparing Node.js apps to, especially Express, to Python and Django and Flask, because basically you're doing very similar stuff. You're creating routes. Remember that with Django you had to create routes for your URLs and all that kind of stuff, Taylor?
Yeah.
And it's very similar with how Express works, and it's kind of interesting when you start to look at parity between these different languages, how things are really not very different on how things work.
Yes.
So just wanted to share that.
Okay. Let's see here. Any other thoughts? This has been a great first meeting. Yeah, we'll have all the recording and we'll have the chat, especially in the Discord as well. For folks. Michael, Lauren, or anybody else, do you have any thoughts?
I was just going to say I'm really excited about this. This will be a really cool way to learn together and bounce ideas off of each other. So.
And, like I've said before, I think this has already been, beneficial to me. And, Taylor, me, and Lauren, we meet regularly and talk. Mm-hmm. But I would like to hear feedback from you guys, Jason and Adara, what y'all's thoughts are about this. Do you feel like this is going to be beneficial to you?
Definitely. I mean, as I said, it will design to feed into my course that I've been doing and projects I'll probably be working on throughout my programming lifetime, really. But to go from there and sort of see how I go. I mean, obviously I'm like you, Mike, I'm working full time and Taylor as well, so I've got to squeeze it in through all that. So I might not be able to make every single meeting, but I'm sure I'll be able to contribute some stuff and go through some CodeCab stuff on there. So yeah, I was looking forward to meeting up and just chatting general tech and programming.
And we may have different things on different stages on Discord as well. So
Yeah, it's fine.
yeah.
Yeah, because I'm at the moment, my one of my lecturers has put me forward to do some stuff in VR, so that's going to be intriguing.
Wow.
Yeah, going to be fun. So at the moment, I've got a nice 400-page Adobe document to go plowing through. Better like time reading.
Adara, do you feel like this would be useful for you? What feedback do you have for the chapter? I see you're muted, but
right. Sorry.
Unfortunately, he's listening to the. There is a slightly think of a football game going on at the moment, which is kind of important.
So I guess I'm doing about 3 different things at once. My apologies. I am listening in as well. I don't have any major feedback because, as I mentioned before, I'm kind of in the beginning stages. Mm-hmm. So I'm just listening to you all and taking down information, trying to write down some notes as well, and looking at the various websites. Obviously, I got a little bit of what you said about GitHub. I'm kind of slowly learning that, and I'm also learning and the Discord. Obviously, that's I've signed up to that because that actually sounds interesting. As Discord is I wouldn't say it's new, but it's I've always been fascinated by it. So yeah, I would say that we do need to have these meetings more often because there obviously are things that I'm sure that probably maybe that like for example, I didn't know there was shortcut keys for Codecademy, and if I'd have known that earlier, I guess I'd have been a bit more, a bit. But then I suppose it's like that with everything. Unless you look, you don't really know.
Right. If you're not exposed to it, you don't know that it exists.
Precisely. So, and yeah, so I'm observing and taking notes.
Excellent.
Oh, sorry, and watching a game at the same time. so I apologize if I'm excuse me, I apologize if I'm muted. It's not that I'm trying
you're
to
fine.
ignore
You're
anybody.
fine.
Okay.
Well, excellent.
All right. I don't think we have anything else to add.
So for now, we want to shoot for to do this in 2 weeks at the same time.
Yep.
Excellent.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Is that it then?
I think that would do it for this time. And chapter managers, if you guys want to get together offline and we can discuss.
Okay, I have a question for Okay, so on Codecademy, do you have something on Codecademy? Or is it, do you like have a chapter or anything?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
If you go to community.codecademy.com, go to the search.
Okay.
Go to the search and go and type in
Right.
accessible coders.
Accessible coders.
Actually, there's
Okay.
a direct link. We can put it in the chat.
And there is no city attached to it. So that's good. Because for a little while it was saying my city. So
did they change it?
Yes, they did.
Oh, fantastic.
I know, because it would have said Michigan, people would be like, wait, what? So there is no city attached to it. It's all virtual, which is good because there's only 2 virtual chapters on Codecademy, like 2 fully virtual chapters.
Wow.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So, let me, thank you, Lauren.
Right.
Yeah, so feel free to become a member of that as well, because we will send emails through there as well.
Right. Okay. Trying to think, is there anything else I need to? That I have any questions about? No, I think that's it. Just I wanted to know whether, because obviously I think, are we all? Tracy, are you signed up to Codecademy? You are, aren't you? Jason?
Yeah, sorry, I was muted. I was making down notes at the same time. Sorry.
Oh, right. It's yeah. Sorry. Are you signed up to
That's right.
Codecademy?
Yes, I have. I've been
Right.
going through. I finished the HTML one.
Oh,
Oh, you finished? Okay.
have you signed up to
Right.
the chapter on Codecademy?
No, that's the one that I haven't done.
Okay.
Yet,
That's
so
what
I
you've been-
just copied the link you just put in the chat there. And,
Excellent.
I will do.
Okay. All right. I'm kind of on my phone, so
No, that's right.
everything's
I can
saved from my-
send. I can send you everything from the link chat here, so I can to you as
Ah,
well.
Okay. Then.
Yeah, and it'll be in the Discord as well.
As well.
All right. Okay.
No, that's about it. Right, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go and watch some funny game or football.
I'm also going to get out of here and watch some fun games called football. Yes.
As you say over there, soccer.
Soccer.
Yes. Soccer. Yes. Yeah.